What does it mean to honor? What does it mean to understand? What does it mean to remember? These are the questions that keep me thinking when I have my head stuck in a history textbook or when I walk past our local war memorial on the way to school. The Brant County War Memorial Park is home to Brantford's cenotaph, which was built in 1933. I think cenotaph is a very interesting word, being from the Greek word for empty tomb. Because there were no bodies, there were no ashes, and there were no items. There was simply a memory this park aims to preserve. The park is almost an acre in size, neighboring the local armory and Tom Thumb Park, which have their individual memorials and dedications for specific battles and battalions. The park sits on land that was formerly used as a parade ground for soldiers leaving Brantford during World War I. The park has two sloped flower banks that point outward toward the road in the open space in front of the cenotaph. Recently, in recognition of D-Day, one of the flower beds had poppies and the other had lettering saying, "Lest we forget." The actual cenotaph is a beautiful piece of art. The original tower was designed by Walter S. Allward, who also designed the Canadian National Vimy Memorial. The similarities are evident. There are 7 statues in the front, accompanied by the inscription, "They gave their lives for humanity," and the years of 1914 to 1918. The tower in the middle is dedicated to commemorate the soldiers who lost their lives in World War I. On each side of the tower, the names of soldiers from Brantford, Brant County, and 6 Nations are engraved, as well as the names of the nursing sisters who lost their lives. In front of the tower, there is a symbolic coffin that is decorated with poppies and inscribed with, "In memory of the men who gave their lives for humanity." However, Brantford's cenotaph does not just recognize World War I. Brantford's cenotaph remains a key piece of our community and history even to this day because it was built to be ever-changing. It was built to remember. One of the most important features of the Brantford cenotaph is the free space that is left. As previously mentioned, the tower in the middle was meant to commemorate the soldiers who fought in World War I. However, following World War II in 1952, a memorial wall was added behind the cenotaph. The middle inscription rededicates the monument to the men and women who gave their lives in service for Canada and inherently Brantford. But even then, they left empty slabs of granite around it, slabs they expected to be filled with more names and more wars, slabs that would be filled with the names of soldiers from World War II. Additional inscriptions would be added for soldiers who lost their lives in the Korean and Afghanistan wars. The most recent name is Trooper Rudd, who gave his life 14 years ago in Afghanistan while serving his country and community. In fact, there are almost 4 slabs of granite left, of empty space, of an effort to commemorate and remember. The 7 statues in the front were added in 1992. The figures represent the men and women through all the wars who gave their lives and made the ultimate sacrifice for their community. These statues reflect the thoughtfulness and responsibility of the individuals who fought. These were young men and women with lives ahead of them who knew they had a responsibility to serve their country, their community, and protect their home. These were individuals who had incredible character, and in fact, I would call them modern-day heroes, putting the needs of others above their own. These statues aim to commemorate their thoughtfulness and responsibility through all branches of the military and the armed forces, and even those back home, like the wives, the children, and everyone. When it was originally constructed in 1933, this monument was meant to change, but also to reflect the resilience and courage of Canadian soldiers. When considering the historical context, I think at its core, the purpose was always to commemorate and remember following the horrific and tragic events of World War I. But I think that's the easy response, because when you dig a bit deeper, it was a cenotaph that was meant to provide closure and healing for grieving families, to provide the community a space to come together and recognize the ultimate sacrifice that was made. It was there to keep a written record of our true heroes. It represented Canada's national identity, the Canadians who gave their lives in service. The cenotaph was designed to grow with the community. It was designed to continue reflecting the thoughtfulness, the responsibility, resilience, and courage of the Canadian Armed Forces. Today, the Brantford Cenotaph and more memorials across Canada act as beacons of continued remembrance, a historical record that acknowledges the past, promoting peace and hope as we move forward. These memorials also play a pivotal role in education, allowing the youth of today to connect with an ever-fleeting past. At our school, Brantford Collegiate Institute, history is built into our walls. The students before us fought in these wars, and the memorials are scattered throughout the school. The cenotaph acts as a pillar of strength and courage. Because overall, the recognition of the soldiers on the Brantford cenotaph is not just for those within our small town. These memorials are for the millions of soldiers worldwide who gave their lives in service for their country during these wars. It is the ultimate tribute to their strength and resilience. Thank you.